Just nice, easy back and through. Hold the finish. Perfect. Okay, very good. Feeling better?
Yeah.
Very good, very good. That's practice stroke. Do I think it's the right swing for this distance? So do a couple of rehearsal swings. And just kind of ask yourself, if I'd really hit a ball with that force, do I think it was about right or too much or too little? And just adjust a little bit. You're having to guess, just like everybody does. And the more you practice, of course, your guesses get better. All right, go ahead and try one now with that. Okay, now we know that that's a little too much, so do a rehearsal that feels softer. And then once you have a new guess, copy that one. So let's copy that one. That looks pretty good. Very nice. So now we kind of just want to copy that one again because that looks like the one we think is right, or certainly close enough. Now, when you first hit that last one, when you hit it, did you kind of think it might have been a little bit lighter than the one before?
Yeah.
That's good. And that's how we learn, is that through trial and error and remembering the past experiences and learn from those. Now, that stroke is looking very good. Here's a drill I want you to do. You're going to putt to just that empty space right there. And what I want you to do is you're going to try to hit all 3 balls with the same stroke.
Okay.
You're going to hit the first ball, and I want you to hold that finish for a moment or two, but don't look at the result. So you're going to hit the ball, hold it for a moment, kind of remember the feeling of it. Go to the second ball, try to copy what you just did. Don't look at the result, try to remember the feeling of it. Go to the third ball, try to copy it again. So you're going to try to hit the same stroke with all 3 balls. If you're successful, they would be clustered together. This is called a cluster drill. So whatever that feels like, try to remember it and copy it. Tonya, before I videotaped your putting stroke, I first established kind of a general method I wanted you to use. I worked on your setup and your grip, and now I'm going to compare that to Tiger Woods. You have a very similar setup to Tiger. Tiger's known as one of the best putters of all time, and he's a great model for us to use to shape our own putting stroke. You have the same width stance, you're tilted, you have your elbows tucked into your sides, you have the same grip as he does. So let's take a look at what Tiger does and his stroke. At the beginning of the stroke, he sets his arms and with the shaft almost like the letter Y. And you have that same kind of setup. You have the letter Y in your setup. That's very good. As Tiger takes it back, he keeps that letter Y intact. He's not taking the club head back by hinging his wrist. He's swinging his arms and elbows in a connected swing. And then he went back to this point here. Then he comes through, and when he hits the ball, he keeps his eyes down. Then as he continues through, he doesn't turn his head. He keeps his eyes focused on the ground and just is remembering the feel of the stroke without being distracted by turning and watching the ball roll away. He's more interested in remembering the feel than the look of the ball going to the hole. That visual information is not worth as much to him as the memory of the feeling of force. After he comes to a complete stop, he then will go ahead and start to turn. He'll hold his finish there. He'll hold his spine angle. And you'll see him start to turn his head And as he's now watching the ball, he's still holding his finish forward. He still has his posture and his spine tilt. So he will putt the ball. He will hold his finish and his eyes down until the stroke is complete. And he'll come to a complete stop and be still for a moment or two before he turns and looks. As you take the putter back, you're keeping your letter Y intact. Then as you make contact with the ball, you want to keep your eyes down. Then as you continue forward, you keep your eyes down just like Tiger did. You're swinging through. That's excellent. So you are executing the same stroke and technique that he is. I call it putt, hold, look. You putt the ball, you finish the stroke, and then you hold that finished position for a moment or two while you absorb the feeling of it. Then you can turn and look. And while you're looking, you still want to hold your posture, your spine angle, and your follow-through position.
Where the ball goes. It's just going to be evaluating your form. So swing it to that form. Good. Lift your feet again. Swing to that pose and hold it for a second. Good. That's it. So you want, because you want to feel like your arms, look here, my arms are kind of reaching. I want them to feel like they're kind of right underneath the shoulder. Oh. That'll make it easier to sweep the grass. That one felt different, didn't it? That got up in the air. So that was excellent. Good. Now they'll pop it up in the air. Nice.
Tonya, in the second part of our session, we worked on chipping, and I adjusted your setup a little bit. I have your feet closer together, and let's compare your chipping technique to Tiger. Tiger sets up, he has his feet even closer together than yours. He does angle his feet slightly, or his legs slightly in. He also has a little bit of a shaft lean, and so his hands are slightly in front of the ball, and that's something that we will continue to work on. And then as he takes the club back, he stays leaning to the left. I mentioned kind of feel like that you're leaning into that wall. Then as he comes through, his sternum and his hands are together, or lined up. As he continues through, he swings his shoulders along with his hands and elbows. His right knee is moving a little bit, and his right hip is moving a little bit. So he swings the club with a body swing. He's not stopping his body and just flipping the club with his hands. This is Luke Donald, a PGA Tour player and one of the best short game players. He's really good at chipping and pitching. And you can see, like Tiger, he swings his hands, his shoulders. His hands are staying right in front of his sternum, and his right knee is moving, his right hip is moving. So it's like a little mini golf swing. He's not just flipping the club. His feet are very close together. All right, so as you come through, and we worked on this technique a little bit, and you do a very good job. You can see this knee move and your hip move. Your sternum is lined up with your hands as you come through. You've got your elbows close to each other. You move both hands forward. And you are in a very similar position as Tiger and Luke are. They've turned their shoulders. You've turned your shoulders. Belly button and belt buckle are facing the club. So is yours. Your knees move and your hip is moved. So everything is looking very good. You're having a little mini swing with your club. So that was excellent.